All right, Fez, there's a list of the cheesiest movie lines of all time that's been put out. I don't have on this paper who put the list out, but apparently they've come up with the all-time cheesiest lines. Now, sometimes there's some movies that are just cheesy all the way through, and then other times it's a situation where it'll be like a regular movie, and then a cheesy line just comes out of nowhere.
Right, yeah.
But it always stops you dead when you're watching a film, particularly like when the movie first comes out, and people will be there, and if there's a romantic line, and it's so cheesy, and it just kind of clunks there, and everyone starts to laugh. My all-time one that always gets to me, and I'll still use it to this day, is Pay It Forward, from the movie Pay It Forward. But when the little kid was dying, and instead of, like, caring about his life, just keep paying it forward, that got to me in a big, big way.
And that's very, very cheesy. For me, it's actually from one of my favorite movies, Rudy, when Ned Beatty walks into the Notre Dame Stadium in South Bend, and all of a sudden gets overly emotional. This is the finest sight my eyes have ever seen.
First of all, he wasn't Irish until that moment. I mean, he was an American-Irish guy, but he wasn't from Ireland. There was no reason for... No Irish guy in Chicago who grows up there has an Irish brogue suddenly and got it there.
And then his other son has to, like, get him around the shoulders and say, come on, Pop.
Hey, Drew, you're on Ron and Fez.
Yo, buddies, what's going on? You got a show going on, right? Yo, how about this one from Teen Wolf? Right after Styles redoes the brake truck into the Wolfmobile, Michael J. Fox goes, yo, Styles, these words are mine when they're about to go car surfing.
Yeah, any kind of deal like... Well, first of all, any like true surfing movie, they'll always have that whole soul surfing line that they lay on you. And of course, they'll always get cheesy, sometimes even without the line, but with guys looking at each other like we've all accomplished something together. Here's Elizabeth. Elizabeth, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, darling.
In the movie Dirty Dancing, there was a part when all the dirty dancers came in at the end, and Patrick Swayze went over to get the girl, and he says, nobody puts baby in a corner.
Yeah, great line for that film. I'll do it every time I'm at a wedding and I ask somebody to dance. I'll always do it. Like, I'll do it to the woman's husband. I'll grab her arm and always say, no one puts baby in the corner. And no one gets it but me. That actually was the number 2 cheesiest line all time from the BBC.
Wow.
All right, thank you very much. Here's John. John, you're on Ron and Fez.
Yes, one of the all-time cheesy lines is the one in the Ronald Reagan movie where he says, wakes up and says, where's the rest of me?
He actually even named his biography that, where's the rest of me? He was missing his legs. Very cheesy. Here's the problem with lists nowadays. They have no sense of history, and they only remember stuff like within the last 20 years. Ruben, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, buddies.
What you got, Rube?
It has to be Jerry Maguire. You had me at hello.
You had me at hello. That definitely had to make it on here. That came in at number 9. And that kind of annoyed me because it almost disregarded all this whole stupid stuff that he was saying all that time. But people repeat that line all the time. Look, here comes Benicio.
Yeah, from the movie Cobra, when he's hunting a guy, he doesn't like him because he don't like bad shots. And it's the cheesiest line in the world.
Now, here's what I was wondering about this, though. Shouldn't the whole cheesy thing almost be more romantic than a bad action line?
Yeah, to me, that's more of just like almost like a bad pun. Like any of the Arnold lines.
Right, I agree. Now, here's where I see cheesy. It's supposed to tug at your heart. And I'll tell you where you'll get a lot of these. In the really old propaganda films where they'll go, come on, boys, we're all Americans here, and we're fighting for that gal back at home, or Pops who's running the soda shop. And you know what I mean? You'll try to tug at somebody's heartstrings.
There's a new movie coming out, Order of the Phoenix, where these guys get plane crashed into the desert and they have to build a plane to get themselves out of it.
Yeah.
And it starts out with the scene you see in every plane crash movie. They're on the flight, they're headed home, everything's great, and a guy shows another guy a picture of his gal.
Yeah.
She's my world. She's everything to me. Boom!
That's the guy who's going to die. They even did that in a Platoon. I'll be going home to her soon. And right away you go, no, you're not. You're not going back to your fat girl. Hey, Bear, you're on Running Fez.
Hey, guys, calling you from Tampa, Florida. How you guys doing?
What do you got for us tonight, Bear?
All right, officer and a gentleman. When the drill sergeant was telling him, why don't you quit mayonnaise? And he goes, I got nowhere else to go.
I got nowhere else to go. Yeah, that's a little more cheesy because at that point he breaks and we know he's going to be a good person. Here is Sarah, you're on Running Fez.
Hi, guys. Yeah. I'm thinking of the line from Notting Hill where Julia Roberts looks at Hugh Grant and she's like, I'm just a girl looking at a boy asking him to love me.
All right, here's my problem with that, too, and that did make it, of course. My problem with that is they're not girls and boys. They were two adults. And I hate when people go past calling themselves boys and girls long where they should.
I hate that one. That one should have been number one.
You hate that line?
Yes.
It was very funny movie and not knowing where they were going, though. You just, to watch these two major movie stars just trying really hard to make a movie out of nothing, it just came off so desperate. Hey, Chris, you're on Running Fez.
What's up, buddies?
Yeah, buddy.
How about Top Gun? Most crucial part of the movie. I'm loving it. And then he says, you could be my wingman any day.
Yeah, that was the homoerotic cheese line.
I think that movie had the most homoerotic moments of all movies.
It really was. Now, who directed that? Was I can't think of it right now, but a guy that I never saw be too homoerotic in other films, and yet in that one, he's really crazy with it. Rob, you're on Running Fez.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Yeah.
Varsity Blues, Mr. Dawson's Creek himself, James Vanderbeek, goes to his dad. I don't want your life.
I don't want your life. I don't know if that was cheesy or just plain bad. Here's Barry. Barry, you're on the Running Fez show.
Hi, Jason?
If you're Jason, you talk.
Yeah, Tony Scott directed Top Gun, by the way.
Thank you very much, my friend.
Yeah, those Brittany Murphy commercials for Don't Say a Word. I'll never tell.
You know what? Those things freaked me. That one freaked me. And then also, that was another film that I saw my apartment window in, and it just kind of freaked me out. Here's Matt. Matt, you're on Running Fez.
Hey, guys. It's when Nicolas Cage was in Con Air, and the fat cop that was on the plane took the picture of his daughter, and then they overtake the plane. Nick said, I told you I'd be getting this picture back at the end of the flight.
Yeah, that's true. Anytime, like, I'm going back into the fire for the picture. James, you're on Running Fez.
Hey, guys, what's up?
Hey, buddy.
How about Ralph Macchio from Outsiders? Stay gold, pony boy.
Stay gold, pony boy. Stay gold.
Now we're talking pure cheese. That was perfect. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's not a human being in this country that could hear that song without starting to cry. Here's Greg. Greg, you're on Running Fez.
There wasn't a dry eye when that mayor said, I don't want that Kittner boy spilling out.
No.
And you know something else? I think that shark was gay.
Dobie, you're on Running Fez.
Hey, guys. Definitely I'm the king of the world in Titanic.
I am the king of the world, #1 of all time. No doubt about it. And off they go. Off they go with that one, Fez. Here is Curtis, you're on Running Fez.
Yeah, guys, hey, how about when Goose and Maverick and Top Gun are walking across the aircraft carrier flight deck, getting ready to take off, and they do the high five, and they say, I feel the need for speed.
Actually, just bad lines, not exactly cheesy, though, but really bad. Bad dialogue all the way through. And then let's go play a very sweaty, attractive game together. We're all playing volleyball. And then just pose down. Bernie, you're on Running Fez.
Hey, Running Fez, how you doing?
Good.
Love never means saying you're sorry from the Love Story.
Love means never having to say you're sorry would have been the all-time #1. No doubt about it. Doesn't make the top 10 because the BBC has no time to look into the history of film. Here's Barry, you're on Running Fez.
John Wayne at the end of the Green Beret, just grabbing the hand of the little Vietnamese kid saying, "Son, you're what we're all about."
Thank you very much. Dan, you're on the air.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Cool.
What about As Good as It Gets? Jack Nicholson saying to Helen Hunt, "You make me want to be a better man."
Thank you. There's a cheesy line.
Super cheesy.
That one belongs in there.
If Helen Hunt's running around, there's probably going to be some cheese involved.
Here is Matt. Matt, you're on the air.
Yeah, on the Karate Kid, when Daniel's fighting the Cobra Kai in the tournament, and Elizabeth Shue goes, "Daniel, you're the best," and then it goes into the song of "You're the Best."
All right, you know what? We were just watching this not too long ago at my house, and
Right.
my kids, didn't grow up in that time, so they're watching it just laughing, and they're going, why does she know every badass karate guy? Everyone who comes by, she knows the way they are, how they deal, and it seems like she's just gone from one karate guy to the next her whole life.
Whatever a karate groupie is called, a choppy or something.
Here is Chan, you're on Run of Fez.
Hey, fellas, how about from Singles with Scott Campbell towards the end when Kyra Sedgwick finally shows up and he says to her, "What took you so long?"
Yeah, we're always supposed to be touched by that kind of stuff. Any kind of I am your dad now will always do it for me, too. Here is Matt, you're on Run of Fez.
Yo. Hey, man, Schwarzenegger, Last Action Hero. He kills a guy with an ice cream cone. He goes, "Ice that one," to coin a phrase.
Yeah, that's not cheese. We've decided that's not cheese.
Yeah, it's like saying in The Running Man, Sub-Zero, now, Plane Zero.
I know.
That's a cheesy line.
All right, you know what? Here's what we need. We need a term for all that, though. And by the way, somebody came up with this. I thought it would be fun the other day. I think I saw it in Premiere Magazine, but I only read it real quick. But I think there's a new term called the baxter or something like that. And that's the guy who's with the girl in the film that isn't right for her. And the hero is going to take that girl later. But he might be like a good guy, like Bill Pullman in, almost any film Bill Pullman ever does. But the one is Sleepless in Seattle, where at the end of the film, he's going to end up alone.
Yeah, not right for Meg.
Or Ducky, of course, is not going to get the girl. Even though these are perfect guys, there's nothing wrong with them. It's not like you've taken her away from the bad guy. You've taken her away from a really nice guy. Here's Jeff. Jeff, you're on Run of Fez.
Hey, how about Field of Dreams at the end where Kevin Costner goes, "Hey, Dad, how about a catch?"
Thank you very much. I never
All right.
really heard that line too well because I was crying so hard. He's having one last catch. Here's Jarrett. Jarrett, you're on Run of Fez.
Hey, how about Good Will Hunting? I got to see about a girl.
Thank you very much. That's perfect. I won't be going. I got to see about a girl. And then we all know.
One that always comes to mind for me is Rocky 3 when Sylvester Stallone won't train anymore. Rocky just quits running on the beach and Talia Shire gets in his face, "What's wrong with you?" And then finally he says, "How did you get so tough?" "I live with a fighter."
Yeah, that's always nice.
And that was a very homoerotic moment before that, or after that, when they're running on the beach and they run into the ocean together, and Apollo Creed has the really short shirt on.
And they're just hugging and splashing.
Yeah. Apollo Creed wore everything should. Go back and even watch the first Rocky and look how tiny his trunks were. They were Hooters shorts that he was wearing. He basically had a Speedo on. Everything from the 70s was such tiny little shorts. I don't know what men were thinking then. Mike, you're on Run of Fez.
Yeah, you ever see What Women Want when she's chasing Mel Gibson down the steps and goes, "Is that it?" And he goes, "Well, I don't want that to be it. I don't want that to be it at all."
I never made it through that film.
I couldn't make it through that commercial. It used to drive me nuts.
Yeah.
He's mind reading her, but yet she's reacting to her thoughts physically.
Sean, you're on Run of Fez.
Color Purple.
You show is ugly.
Well, there was one of the Color Purple, but it wasn't You Show Is Ugly. And that is, I never walk past the Color Purple without thanking God. That's a cheesy line that somehow was passing for poetry back then. Here's Tom, you're on Run of Fez.
Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Toto. I don't think we're in Kansas anymore.
I would go more towards the end of the film where, if ever you're away, then you know the home is no farther than your own backyard. She learns after this great adventure, never get out of your own backyard, because that's everything. I'm like, what? John, you're on Run of Fez.
Yeah, what about the scene in Last of the Mohicans when he's in the waterfall and he says to his woman, I will come for you?
Never made it through Last of the Mohicans.
Didn't see it.
Speaking of, I seen, and this was full of cheesy lines, it was the Last Samurai. I finally got to see that. It's on cable now. And that thing basically is Dancing with Wolves in Japan. Everything is exactly the same as Dancing with Wolves, but instead of Indians, they're all Japanese samurais.
Dances with Wolves is one of the times I thought I was going crazy because everyone was loving this movie.
Oscar winner, beat Goodfellas.
Yeah, and I hated it. I saw it the week of Oscar, so I could say I saw it and hated it.
Joey, you're on Run of Fez.
Okay, Sonny Corleone goes to his sister's house and sees how badly she's beat up, and he goes, and then bites his knuckle.
No, that's a great scene. First of all,
I
don't want any blasphemy about the Virgin Mary or about the Godfather. That's two things I hold very close to myself. Don, you're on Run of Fez.
Hey, Don.
Yeah, I just wanted all those people who don't believe in Christmas that life is just a box of chocolates.
Now, that was probably my Dances with Wolves, where I watched the movie about a retard, and for some reason, people acted like it was better than Pulp Fiction. And not even a believable retard. Like Sean Penn, when he plays a retard, the guy's retarded. Forrest Gump, what the hell was he? He wasn't really retarded. He wasn't stupid. He wasn't anything. Here's Jim. Jim, you're on Run of Fez.
Hey, Say Anything with John Cusack when he's in the parking lot at the Circle K talking to the guys about his girl, and they were telling him what to do. And he tells them, he says, if you know so much about women, what are you guys doing in the parking lot of a Circle K? And they go, by choice.
By choice, yeah, then they all agree. That, of course, the cheesy thing there wasn't so much a line, but the song and standing there with the two speakers over his head. Just showing it. That's the way people show love. Two speakers over their head. Here's Fred. Fred, you're on Run of Fez.
Hi, guys. Remember in Short Circuit when Ali Sheedy's in the bathtub and the robot busts through the window, shatters it? She says, you're crazy.
Thanks. All right, we got to take a break.
Yep, break time.
Whipping through this show tonight. We are Run of Fez.